So here we go. This is Otto Talks, the podcast where I, Otto, talk about random things. You know what kind of sparked this? I guess I was just sitting around thinking, and I was like, you know what the world needs? It definitely needs another podcast from someone who has no idea what they're doing and no idea how to make these. So what's this all about? I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I do love a podcast. Traditionally, I would listen to a lot of music. I'd listen to a lot of Spotify, but my Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year has been telling me more and more that you don't really listen to that much music anymore, do you? Kind of listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of books on demand, this kind of stuff. Like it's no longer about the music. So I'm a big podcast fan, and I kind of always wanted to try. I thought about dabbling in it a little while ago. I thought about giving it a go, but I am a fantastic procrastinator, if nothing else. So I've read all the guides, I've done all the research, but I've never actually tried to make one, which is probably the key activity when it comes to pulling together a podcast. But anyway, here we are. So, I mean, I've always been interested in the medium. I used to be, back in the days when I was at uni, which feels like a terrifyingly long time ago, RIP to bacon, eggs and football, which I'm not 100% sure still exists, but was definitely my first foray into the world of sports journalism as an aspiring sports journalist back at uni, although I was studying history and I was definitely convinced that I'd made a terrible decision there. But anyway, you know, I kind of always wanted to give it a go. I wanted to learn, to see if I could actually do it, you know, to see if I could actually make one. And having tried to make them in the past, I can definitely testify to all the ones that are on there on Apple and Spotify at the moment that the men and women on there do a hell of a job, because it's not easy. It's a lot of faffing around on different tools, and no doubt that's why the role of a podcast producer is a standalone job. But anyway, we're going to try and do one by myself, and we'll see how it goes. But the other reason I wanted to kind of do one is my partner Minnow and I, we moved over to Australia a couple of years ago now, and it seems like a fun way to kind of keep in touch and keep people, family and friends back in Europe in the loop. And just let, you know, other people know, I guess, what we're up to, and let them know how things are going, seeing as we're stuck halfway across the other side of the world, with no real timeline on when we might be able to get home and visit people. So what's the plan? I mean, I kind of pulled it together that the thinking is that I would do short episodes, so I'm not going to be chasing after Joe Rogan here with the plan of bashing out a 3-hour marathon with Elon Musk. And that's not because I can't pull in Elon Musk. You know, Elon can come along whenever he wants, and he has actually been in touch already. You know, he's already been sending me emails. He's been chasing me since he heard that Otto Talks was going live. So calm down, Elon. We'll get you on one day. But, you know, the plan is to kind of just chat about a bunch of random things that I find interesting. And eventually, you know, once I've actually learned how to do this and how to pull one of these together, then to reach out to a few friends and, you know, people I've worked with in the past. I'd love to do a more of an interview kind of thing and get a few people on and have a bit of a back and forth, because no doubt listening to my voice will get very annoying, and people will lose interest in that quite quickly. But anyway, we're going to give it a go. So I think it'll be solo kind of rambles. You know, I'm aiming for 20 minutes or less. 20 minutes feels like it's going to be a long time having tried to get this going, but 20 minutes or less, and then, yeah, as we get a bit better at it, a bit smoother, we'll bring in a few more people. I'm not gonna commit to a number of episodes a week. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do, you know, 1-2 episodes a week. I think it's kind of let's see how we go. It's meant to be a fun thing. So until Mr. Elk over at Spotify wants to come and offer me a bunch of money, then we can start talking about episode count. But otherwise, it's just gonna be me chatting into my laptop and microphone. So that is a little sort of peek behind the kimono. And I figured I would do a bit of an intro and then kind of give you guys a little update. It's not going to be a full 20 minutes today, but I haven't seen a lot of people in a long time back home, and a lot of friends and family. So I thought give a super quick little update of what's happened for the past year, for those of you who haven't seen me in a while, and obviously for those of you who are listening to this who have no idea who the hell I am. And I'll start with the least important update and then kind of work backwards. So the least important is definitely, and we can spend no time on this at all, but I turned 30 this year, which is absolutely fucking terrifying. I'm sure I'm supposed to put some kind of disclaimer in there at the front about swearing, but it's valid to say that it's fucking terrifying, because I still forever feel, you know, like 18. So I'm sure I'm not alone there, but that's the less said about that, the better. That's cool. We can move on. The second one, which we already spoke about a little bit, but we're currently living in Australia. And Australia is amazing. It's way too hot for someone from Scotland, but that's neither here nor there. The people are very nice. It's an awesome place to live, and the lifestyle's crazy, especially when you move from somewhere like London. But the reality of the situation is that we have been in lockdown for the best part of 18 months, kind of in or out of lockdown, and we've just come out of one that started in June, it's just been absolutely crazy. So that's the second kind of update. We're out of lockdown now. Hopefully we're going to be able to make some moves and do some travels and do some trips, because we've got some important events happening next Northern Hemisphere summer, which is something I have to specify these days, which feels weird, but in June, July time. Shout out to Willie P and Ailey, big wedding coming up. And then the final update that I just wanted to throw out there. So we got a dog back in February, a lockdown puppy. I know a dog is not just for lockdown, so before anyone comes at me for that was not the plan. But his name is Angus, or Gus for short. And he's an awesome wee lad who is now the best part of a small horse. He's about 38 kilos, and he's not very big height-wise, but he's an absolute unit. Like, he's just a total beast. And Gus is 10 months, 10 and a little bit, and he is, he loves everyone. He loves any other dog, any other person, so he's just great to have. But about a month and a half ago, something really scary happened, and he had a seizure in the middle of the night in his crate where he sleeps. And I have no experience with, fortunately enough in my life, I've never been around people who experience a seizure kind of myself, and so I've no experience of that, and it was absolutely terrifying. I know people with newborns get very annoyed at people that just have dogs talking about it as if they're their children, but it's the closest thing we have to a kid, and it was absolutely terrifying. So the wee guy had a seizure, and we were Mano and I were kind of a little bit rumbled, but we did a bit of research and saw that Labradors are predisposed to get seizures, whether it's through epilepsy, whatever it might be, but not necessarily at his age. So we just kind of kept an eye on it, and he bounced back really quickly. He was this bubbly little self, just running around, bumping into things and eating everything that he can get his mouth on. So it was all fine and well, kind of back to normal. And then about a week and a half ago, he had another one, and this one was. It felt like 10 minutes. It definitely wasn't. It was around about a minute, but it's still scary enough. It's so because you're just totally helpless. And so we took him to a specialist last week, and he had to get an MRI. And we're kind of just waiting for the updates on that. But not ideal for the wee lad who has no idea what's going on, and I guess not ideal for first time dog parents. But we're waiting to get the results back from the MRI. So fingers crossed on that, touch wood on that, all those kind of cliches and things. But yeah, other than that, as I said, I just really want to keep it super, super short today, because this feels super weird to do, sat in a room by myself talking to myself. But I'm really excited to kind of pull some of these together and to just throw them out there on the internet and see what happens and let people hear a bit more about what's going on down here, because we are pretty isolated down here. But yeah, so that's the plan. That's Otto Talks. It would be great if you are friends or family and you listen to this. Let me know how it sounds. Let me know how it is. If it's as awkward as it feels, that would any feedback is good feedback. And then otherwise, if you have no idea who I am and you have absolutely no obligation to be nice to me, then, please leave a review, subscribe. I'm going to have to get used to saying those kind of things as I enter into the awkward world of self-promotion, which is not something that comes naturally to me, but is all part of the game. But yeah, anyway, that's the kind of what's this all about episode, and I'll be looking to pull some stuff together in the next couple of weeks, but I'm not committing to an episode count, so don't try and get me. And yeah, final shout out, Elon, we'll get you on one day, but just, stop texting me, leave me alone. Okay, I'll see you guys there.